And we are live, people. What is good? What is good? All right, I'm going to wait here for y'all to get in. What up? What up? Let me know if you guys can see me, hear me in the comments, man. Hopping on here to talk with you guys, take some questions. It's Cardinals week, baby. We got to get back in the W column, and we got to go ahead and get the job done on Sunday. So I'm excited for the Bears to hopefully get right back on track here, man. This is a winnable game against the Cardinals team, and we should get the job done. Retro Bowl career, what's good, man? How's my week been? It's been good. It's been good. Just tiring. Just putting in the work, as I always do, just grinding. But I'm excited for the weekend, just to rest and stuff. But honestly, not much rest for me when I got to crank out the content for you guys, but that's what I love to do. So let's just start with the game on Sunday here with the Cardinals. So I posted my preview video for the game. And to me, a lot of you guys have been reaching out and asking me if this is a must-win game. And honestly speaking, I can't remember the Bears ever being over 500 with this much doom and gloom. Like, I'm seeing on social media about how Matt Eberflus has lost a locker room and the Bears are spiraling and things are going completely left. Like, I'm surprised by all this talk because honestly, folks, things aren't that bad. I don't know what's going on inside the locker room, so I can't speak to that, but you're 4-3. All right. You lost on a Hail Mary play, right? The luckiest play in football when it comes to that, because not even like Jaden Daniels made an incredible throw. He just threw it as far as he could, and it luckily tipped into Noah Brown's hands. So you lost on a Hail Mary in a game you were pretty much going to win, in which you had no business winning. And because you lost that game in the manner you did, now everything's just completely haywire. Like, just not adding up to me. Again, I've never been the hot take, freak out, go crazy guy. Just like to be calm, cool, and collected here. You're 4-3. It was a tough loss. Just get back to business and get a dub. And that's what this week is about. So to answer the question, come back full circle here. No, it's not a must win, because I don't think anything happens if the Bears lose this game in terms of, the entire situation. Bears loses the game. Matt Eberflus not getting fired. Shane Waldron's not getting fired. Sorry. The game after this against the Patriots, that's even a more of an important game in the sense of if you lose that, that's worse, because that's a worse team. The Cardinals have been playing good football. They just won last week against the Dolphins. So this is a solid football team, man. 4-4 on the year. A lot of people thought they would be terrible, including myself. But they've been stretching and clawing their way to victories here. So, no, it's not a must-win. But obviously you want to get the job done here before the division games start. And when they start, not going to be pretty, man. What up, Faiz? Nicholas, good to see you. Chrissy loves sports. This game will say a lot. Agree. Kyle, mad love, Faiz. Been rock with you since day one. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hey, shoot some questions in here. I'll try to answer as many as I can while I'm live with you guys. But in the meantime, I'm going to give my quick thoughts on the game here. So I broke down the game for you guys in my preview video. I had a couple additional thoughts here. So the first and foremost thing that I told you guys about in that preview video was the fact that this game will be won if we stop James Conner. The run game has been the run defense for the Chicago Bears has been a huge issue thus far into the season. And I know everybody wants to talk about Kyler Murray and, his weapon and Marvin Harrison Jr. and even Trey McBride's been really good this year. But that team goes as James Conner goes. So if you stop James Conner, you stop the Cardinals. So I said it in the video. In wins, James Conner's averaging 90 rushing yards per game. In losses, he's averaging just 50. Big difference there. So you stop James Conner, you stop the Cardinals. And then on the other side, for us, let's just get back to the basics. Sometimes when you take a loss like that, when you take a loss right to the chin, you got to go ahead and you just got to get back to the basics of what you got to do, which is run the rock. DeAndre Swift has been incredible. Last 4 weeks, 100-plus yards from scrimmage, establish the run, meat and potatoes football. Just get back to the basics, people, just until your offense gets into the right flow because, again, last week it was abysmal, that offense, until late in the fourth quarter. So get back to the basics, feed Swift. That should open up the passing game and attack this porous Cardinals team. So I expect the Bears to win this football game, folks. I think it'll be, relatively close here. What did I predict the Bears to win? 21-17, something like that. A little lower scoring. But, yeah, as far as the injury report, I see one of you guys asked me about that. Let's talk about the injury report here. So I'm going to pull it up here for you guys. And I see some questions here pouring in, so keep submitting the questions. I'm going to get to it here right as soon as I'm done breaking down this game here. So the Friday injury report, we've got Kieran Amagaje, our rookie offensive lineman. He is out with a calf injury. It's fine. He was not great at all last week. Honestly, folks, he needs a lot of development. I don't think he's ready yet. Jaquan Brisker is a big one. He is still out with that concussion. A lot of people asking me about this one, man. What's going on with Jaquan Brisker? Is he playing? He's not playing. We know that. Why is he out multiple weeks with a concussion? I think this is his third concussion, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they're just trying to be extra careful with him. Who knows? Maybe he is trying to be extra careful with the concussions. Are a scary deal, man. So that's a big loss, but obviously health comes first there. Braxton Jones is out. Braxton Jones, our starting left tackle, he is out for this game. So I expect Larry Borom, who is a full go he is listed questionable, but he practiced in full all 3 days. I expect him to slide into that left tackle spot. It could be somebody else as well. We could move guys around here. But, Braxton Jones is going to be out, so that's a big loss there. Montez Sweat listed as questionable. Man, that's that would be a big loss if Sweat's not playing. Ryan Bates listed as questionable, was limited all week. I hope he plays. Kyler Gordon, also questionable. And then Tevin Jenkins, also questionable. So, and then Bill Murray's on IR. Kyle, I see you asked that. So he is not going to be playing. You've got Matt Pryor available. So, Sweat, Bates, Gordon, Jenkins, and Borom, all questionable. That is huge. As far as who I believe plays in this game, out of those, I think Sweat does play. He got a limited practice in on Thursday. I think Ryan Bates plays. He's been limited all week, but I think he's been trending in the right direction. I think Jenkins probably is out. I think he probably will miss some time. And then Larry Borom, I think, plays in this game. And then Kyler Gordon, I think, is probably going to be out. He was DNP, and then limited. I mean, didn't practice all week. Hamstring injuries are tricky. So, yeah, man, not looking like a great injury report here. This is why I mentioned, right, which is, look, your starting offensive linemen are hurt. Braxton Jones being out, Tevin Jenkins questionable. Let's get back to the basics of running the football, all right? You run the football. You take your shots in the passing game. You play action. Don't get too cute. Don't run an offensive lineman, please, okay? Again, you know who I'm talking about, Shane Waldron. But, yeah, Nico Gorgio, Flus made it sound like Borom starts at left tackle and Tevin at left guard. Very possible. I'm expecting Larry Borom to start at left tackle, replacing Braxton Jones. That's the position he's played. And then Jenkins, if he plays, he's going to be at left guard. I agree with that. Red, the logo kid, there's too much overreaction going on. Bear down, people. I totally agree. People are acting like the sky is falling. Folks, we're 4-3. We're not 0-7, 1-6. A lot of football left to be played. So let's just relax. Let's get a dub, and let's handle the business here. Matt Dubinsky, are they going to start Bill Murray? Bill Murray, to my knowledge, is on IR. If I'm not mistaken here, and I'll double check for you guys, Bill Murray got put on IR from what I remember. Let me see here and confirm for you guys. Yep, they put Bill Murray on IR 3 days ago, so he is not going to be available. So, yeah. For crying out loud, more commit Faiz, Lioneldo Silva. Yeah, I totally agree. All the weapons in the world we have, let's use all of them. I was just saying that I think this game at the beginning, you start by establishing the run. You take the pressure off of Caleb. You've got a compromised offensive line. It's a Cardinals team that doesn't defend the run or the pass pretty well, so you can go ahead and attack both ways. But just because of the situation with the offensive line, I think it makes more sense this week to try to run the football more and establish the run. Kyle Dion, Tyreek really bench. I believe you're talking about Tyreek, as in Tyreek Stevenson, and whether he is getting benched or not for his actions against the Commanders game. And I don't know for sure. I did not see confirmation about that. So if you guys saw confirmation, let me know. As far as Tyreek Stevenson, I think they probably still do start him just because, again, we're going to be shorthanded in the secondary. I think, he made a mistake, man. Like you gotta learn from those mistakes. I'm sure he would take that back if he could. But yeah, so I think he is probably going to start, but that's where I'm at with it. So yeah, this game is important for sure to just be able to get back in the winning column, and then the fact that the division is so tough doesn't help either. But I'm not too focused on that. Let's just worry about getting wins here and not worry too much about the division. We got the Lions at 6-1, the Packers at 6-2, the Vikings at 5-2, and then us at 4-3. It's funny, could have easily been 6-1 if it wasn't for coaching, because last week against the Commanders, you win that game, you're 5-2 now, and then that Colts game was, to me, a coaching loss as well. I think you win that game. So it's crazy. You could be 6-1 right now instead of 5-2. Instead of 4-3. But yeah. Overall, though, if we win these next two games against the Cardinals and against the Patriots, that would put the Bears at 6-3 heading into the division games. And I'm feeling pretty good at that point. Honestly, before this 3-game stretch was starting here with the Commanders, I basically said that if you come out of the stretch 2-1, I'm feeling pretty good. 3-0 would have been amazing. But, 2-1 is pretty good. So 6-3 before the division game starts. And I'll be happy with that. So far, 4-3, I probably wish we were obviously a little bit better. Just a game above 500, but not going to complain too much. Kyle Dean, what's the secondary looking like? So Brisker is out, and Kyler Gordon is questionable. So we will see if Gordon plays. I know a lot of people are asking about, obviously, Tyreek Stevenson, but I think he starts still just because of the depth now, or lack of, in the secondary for us. So, it's pretty much going to be Elijah Hicks. You got Byard, you got Stevenson, and then probably Terrell Smith or Josh Blackwell, one of those two. So that's probably what the situation's looking like. Red the logo kid. Nobody talking about Love always hurt. Is he low-key injury prone? If you're talking about Jordan Love, I mean, yeah, he's been dealing with some injuries this year. I mean, even if he is injury prone, even if he's out, they have a quarterback whisperer there in Matt LaFleur who can get Malik Willis to play competent football. So, yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter who starts at quarterback for the Packers because they're always going to have, Matt LaFleur playing well. Matt LaFleur is always going to have them playing well. Coconut Pete, who's starting at left tackle? So my guess is it's going to be Larry Borum. With Braxton being out, certainly they could try to get creative here and play some guys out of position, but Kieran Amagaji is going to be out. Do you move Matt Pryor there? But then who plays right guard? Do you bring back Nate Davis? I would say it's probably going to be Larry Borum. Yeah. It's not looking good, folks. I'm telling you, the offensive line is in shambles. This is the one thing. I mean to go on a big rant here, but this is the one thing that has really, really disappointed me about Ryan Poles is that while I do think he's a good general manager, the fact that he just cannot get this offensive line fully addressed has really shocked me being a former offensive lineman. Like, if you told me that, in the Ryan Poles regime, the Bears would have an incredible offensive line. Like if you gave two options, incredible offensive line, weaker skill level players at the receiver tight end spot, or incredible skill level players and weaker offensive line, I would have guessed the first. I would have thought this man would want to address the trenches ASAP. But we're multiple years into his regime, and the only spot on the offensive line that you feel like, oh, that's a rock-solid starter, and maybe not even anymore, was right tackle with Darnell Wright. At left tackle, Braxton Jones, I think he's serviceable. I don't think he's great. Left guard, Tevin Jenkins, injury-prone. And again, not like an all-pro talent, nothing like that. Center spot's a mess. Right guard spot's been a bust with Nate Davis, and now you got Matt Pryor there. So it's like, how does Ryan Poles not get this offensive line solved? Like, this is the sad part about it, is that is going to have a bigger hindrance on Caleb's development than if he did not have skill level players. If you gave Caleb, basically what Justin had and just like a Darnell Mooney, number one receiver and DJ Moore and like nothing else, I would have been fine if he had a rock-solid offensive line. Like, give me the Lions' offensive line, something like that. But the fact that our offensive line is this bad, where I'm scared when the division games start. When the division games start and we got to go up against the Lions defense, the Vikings defense, the Packers defense, I am scared for Caleb. He is going to be running for his life, man. It is not going to be pretty. I'm telling you. And we got like 4 days before the trade deadline here. I'm not saying that there's a lot of teams lining up to trade away their solid quality offensive linemen. But my goodness, Ryan Poles, you got to do something. We just saw the Vikings trade for an offensive lineman, so don't tell me it's not possible. It's possible. So that's been the most disappointing part to me about Ryan Poles, is that why has he not been able to address the offensive line? Kyle Dion, will any Bears receivers reach 1K? DJ Moore should. I don't think Keenan Allen will. He gets a lot of short yardage, low ADOT catches. And then Rome Odunze has a chance. He needs to have a couple spike games. I don't really see Cole Kmet doing it. So probably just DJ Moore, and Rome has a little bit of an outside shot. Read the logo kid. Everybody wants Flus out, but how can you build without allowing realistic time to get all new pieces, coaching on a page together? Shane is a honest OC, and him and Coach Flus is good football minds. Look, I'm not a Flus guy, but I agree at this point, if I'm Ryan Poles, I can't fire Matt Eberflus. You can't fire somebody who's 4-3 right now with, the team playing solid football. His side of the football has been solid all year. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm firing Flus at the end of the season because I can definitely find an upgrade. And that's the other reason I'm not firing Flus right now, is because if you fire him right now, you're only going to have an interim coach. The top coaches that you would get to replace him, they're not going to be free until the end of the season. I'm looking at you, Ben Johnson. So, yeah. To me, I would probably say just keep Flus until the end of the season, and we'll see. All right. Ron Winarski, will Caleb throw for 4,000 yards? I would say probably not. I would love for this to be the case. If he plays all 17 games, he's got a great shot, but I think the problem is going to be just him having too many up and down games. And especially the fact that, we're going to be playing some tough defenses in the back end of the season. I mean, you throw for 33 passing yards through 3 quarters against the Commanders defense, that's a problem. Like, sorry, man. Caleb needs to step it up a little bit more. I'm not saying, disappointed or whatever, but I think 4K is going to be tough. Coconut Pete, just wait until Flus does his bullshit in the playoffs and costs you a playoff game. Well, let me tell you something. If Flus gets his team to the playoffs this season, that might be the way he keeps his job. So regardless of what happens in the playoffs, he might secure his job if he gets his team to the playoffs. And this goes into, Nico, your question, which is, what does Flus need to do to not get fired at the end of the season? I think if the Bears do not make the playoffs and a good coach is available out there, like a Ben Johnson, I think Ryan Poles will move on from Matt Eberflus. Like, if the Bears finish 9-8, miss the playoffs, I think there's a chance that Flus is still fired. I do. Rosemary Fiore, Kmet's not used enough. Honestly speaking, everyone on the offense isn't being used enough. You got a rookie quarterback that's still trying to find his footing, and an offensive coordinator that's a little herky-jerky too, right? And so every game, it's a mixed bag. You never know what to expect. And the only guy who's been consistent the last 4 weeks has been DeAndre Swift. Jordan Butts, we've seen the same dysfunction with so many coaches. We have the roster. What else can be the answer? So, look, the hard part about this is the fact that you don't want to fire the coach and pair Caleb up with a new coach that didn't draft him because that's not his guy. And it's like you're doing the same thing that Justin Fields dealt with, that Mitch Trubisky dealt with. But at the end of the day, the guy you bring in, you hope that guy is all in on Caleb because Caleb's not going anywhere. So to me, that's probably the situation. As far as the answer, look, I just feel like Matt Eberflus is not it. I think he's a defensive coordinator masquerading as a head coach. I just don't think he has what it takes to take us to the promised land. I think he's just a solid coach, but I think we can do better. Kyle Dion, does Drake May play against the Bears? Not sure. Honestly, not too worried right now. I sound like a coach, but worried about Arizona. Let's just get that dub. Coconut Pete, fun fact, Faiz, Bears have now won an away game on Sunday since 2021. I am aware of that, and it is a depressing fact. I think there's another fun fact here, which is the Bears are undefeated at, I think State Farm Stadium is what their stadium's called. They're undefeated for like a while or something. I saw this from a beat reporter. So it's like one of the streaks is going to end. Let me see if I can find it because it's going to bother me now. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is from Brendan Sudru. The Bears have never lost at State Farm Stadium. They're 3-0 against the Cardinals in Arizona. But Matt Eberflus, to Coconut Pete's point, hasn't won a true road game on Sunday as the Bears head coach. He is 0-17. That is insane. So, yeah, one of the streaks is going to end. And I hope it's the first. I hope it's the second one. All right. Sorry. Super chat, if you want your question answered right away, by the way, just trying to get through these here real quick. Elias must beat Arizona. Totally agree. I have no idea how to say this, but I'll just say V. Just saying it's not like the Commanders won by talent. Agreed. That was a fluky game, man. But the Bears offense needs to be better. Conscious Pookie T 2.7. Dude, just fire Flus and hire Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think Matt Eberflus is going to get fired until the season is over. We don't know if Cliff Kingsbury is going to be available until then. Chris Avendaño, will you trust Ben Johnson to get experienced coordinators? Yeah, I will. The biggest thing with Ben Johnson isn't even the fact that, do I trust him in that sense? It's the fact that he's an offensive side of the ball guy. Like, I know it sounds, kind of dumb, but like, I want my head coach to be on the offensive side because that's where the NFL is. That's where the NFL is headed. That's where all the rules are geared towards. And I don't want my OC to leave when the offense does well because he gets another head coaching job. I want my Sean McVay. I want my Matt LaFleur. I want those guys, that type of head coach. Thomas Melander, play calling is suspect. I can't stand watching the same crap over and over again. Yeah, man, Shane Waldron's been very herky-jerky early on here in the season, or we're at the middle of the season, so I should say the first half, and he just needs to get a rhythm going, man. It's been way too, up and down. We need a Bears fan type coach who understands the organization, Chicago's mindset. Yeah, and I agree with that. Flus is not it. He doesn't. Flus is such a perfect DC man, not a good head coach. All right. Here's a good one. KC Matario, what is your biggest concern leading up to this game? I've mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it again. James Conner. Folks, I don't think you understand how good James Conner is, man. I've seen this dude tear apart even good run defenses. He is a bowling ball coming down, and if he runs all over this Bears run D, it's going to be a long day on Sunday. So James Conner is my biggest concern leading up to this game because the run D hasn't been good. It's a good running back. And when he plays well, the Cardinals win. So simple as that. So James Conner, stopping him, number one concern. Conscious Pookie T 2.7. McCarthy's are so cheap they'll never hire a high price coach. I think Ben Johnson. I think if he's interested, they'll hire him. I know they're cheap, but I think they'd do it for the right guy. I just don't think they'd do it for anybody. So yeah, overall, man, just hoping we get this dub here and move to 5-3 on the season. Hope you guys are doing well in your fantasy leagues too, by the way. It's been a little all over the place for me. Nico, Giorgio, are you concerned about the Bears defense? I think they have played very well, but have also been bailed out a lot by a lot of penalties and drops. I'm a little worried, not too worried, a little worried because obviously you're missing one of your better players in Brisker and potentially Kyler Gordon, but not too worried because we're not playing a great offense here. Look, the Cardinals are solid, but they're not the Chiefs' offense hasn't been good this year, but they're 5-0. They're not the Chiefs. They're not the Bills. Like, this isn't one of the better teams in football, but a little worried. How about that? I'm a little worried, and that's pretty much about it. All right, let's see here. What other questions do we have? Mr. Bloodbath 50 Cal. Eberflus should give play calling to Eric Washington so he can focus on being more of a head coach instead of a DC. His situational awareness is lacking. Is that a good idea? Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. Look, we all know the defense hasn't been the problem. It's been his situational coaching, right? Timeouts and just knowing, the challenges situation and all that. So I think that would be a good idea. If he did do that for a week or so and we didn't see a big drop off, I'd be good with that. That's the problem with Flus. I think you nailed it. He's just not good with the details. And as a head coach, you need to be good with the details. You need to be good with the timeouts, with the challenges, just time and awareness, man. Situational football wins in this league. All right. So that's where we're at, people. All right. So we're up at about a half hour here. Appreciate you guys hopping in with me, man. I'm trying more and more to do more of these lives. I think I've been doing one every week. So hopefully I keep it going. Appreciate you guys checking in, and I'll be back for talking about the Bears post game after hopefully a dub.